So we're doing this again, I guess. Hey everybody, it's me, it's your boy Adam. And we're bringing back Adam Talks. If you're a new subscriber or an old one that forgot, because I haven't done this since like 2017 when I talked about Doki Doki Literature Club, this is an unscripted type of series where I just talk about things that I want to talk about. Today we're talking about Fire Emblem Three Houses. Lordy, I love this game. I've put about 25, 26 hours into this game in the past 3 days that I've owned it. And I gotta say, if this game continues how it's been for those past 25, 26 hours, this may be the best Fire Emblem game, like, ever, probably. So, I'm gonna tell you why I like it so much. Right, I threw it on the ground, and now I gotta look for it in this mess that is right here next to my desk. So, Fire Emblem Three Houses. When the game was first announced, didn't know what to think about it. I thought the art style looked weird. I thought the character designs were kind of bland. But as time went on, I started becoming more and more hyped for this game. I kind of warmed up to the character designs. I thought the whole structure of it being set in a school and like you teach, I thought that was cool. It reminded me kind of Persona, which I love these games very, very much. And then there was like the whole time skip thing, and I thought that was super cool. That had a lot of potential to be cool. So yeah, by the time the game came out, my hype was through the roof. I can't reach that high. When that game came out Friday, the second I got off of work, I drove myself to GameStop. Thankfully they had a copy because I didn't pre-order it. I drove home and I mowed the lawn because my mom asked me to, and then I popped the game into my system and I played it for 10 hours straight. I played until like 4 a.m. It was not healthy. So anyway, what exactly do I like about it? Let's start off with, like, I'm not spoiling the story. It hasn't even really picked up where I am. And speaking of that, this is a meaty game. I'm 26 hours in, as I said. And I'm still not past the first part. I'm only on like chapter 10, part 1, I think. And yeah, this is a meaty game. There's a lot to do. So the basic structure of this game is there's like different months. At the beginning of the month, you're given a mission that you're going to be doing at the end of the month. So in all that time, you basically just prepare for that. Like I said, it reminds me of Persona. So basically, like, every Saturday in the game, you're given free time. You could do what you want. You could either explore the monastery, which is where the game takes place. You can boost your supports. You can go try to recruit characters from other houses. You can fish. There's a fishing mini game. You can plant seeds. You can do all kinds of stuff when you explore the monastery. You can attend seminars, which would like boost you and a couple of your students' weapon levels. You can battle, like, you get money and stuff from that. There's also like quests that you get from the monastery that you can go into battles and do those, and you get rewards for that. Another thing I like about this game is that this game doesn't really play like a Fire Emblem game. It's very different, and I love it. Every character in this game either starts out as a noble class or commoner class, which are both basically the same thing. And it's kind of like the villager class from Gaiden or Echoes or whatever, where you can reclass into like any class you want. But unlike Gaiden or Echoes, there's a huge amount of classes you can go to. Weapons are no longer restricted by classes. Like, for example, in In other Fire Emblem games, if you were a sword master, you can only use swords and that's it. In this game, sword masters can use any weapon except magic. Magic is normally reserved for the noble or commoner class, or magic-based classes like mage or priest and stuff like that. Although mages and priests can't use certain physical weapons, like they can't use the new brawling weapons, which are like gauntlets and stuff. But there's so much customization. It really reminds me of Disgaea, where like any class in that game can use any weapon, but some classes are better at certain weapons. And you can basically like customize these units so that you like whatever you want. That's what Three Houses reminds me of. Soundtrack is amazing. I've always said Fates had the best soundtrack, but I think Three Houses has it beat, honestly, from what I've heard. I'm not playing any of it in the video because one, I don't want to spoil myself and I have to listen to all the tracks so that I could pick one for this video, or one or two. And I don't want to do that because I don't want to spoil myself, but like, and also I don't want to spoil it for other people, because I know there are some people who don't want to get spoiled musically, like me. So if that doesn't bother you, then you can Google it. Be my guest. Put our service to the test. Characters were one thing that I was really concerned about, because Fates, holding the box backwards. Fates, it didn't have great characters. It had a huge roster, not great characters. This game, however, yeah, the characters are good in this game. I thought all of them were interesting. All of them were like unique in their own way. Like every character was like, there's something to like about every character, and I think that's a big strength of the game. Graphically, I think it could have been better. I feel like it was kind of a necessity that the graphics were kind of downgraded, because one, it's on the Switch, and two, the load times are already kind of long, even with the kind of graphics that this game has. And if they made it better, it would probably like make the load times unbearably slow, or like cause frame drops, which it happened. Like, frame drops do happen in this game, but very rarely, and very minor frame drops. Like, it's not something that like most people will care about. Like, if they're like a bunch of units in like one area on the overworld map, and then like it'll kind of slow down like a bit, but it's not something that most people would notice or care about. So graphics aren't bad, I would say, but like the textures aren't great. There's a lot of times where like I look at a texture and I'm like, that doesn't look like what it's supposed to be, but like it still looks better than the 3DS games, I would say. I'd still say it's like, it still looks good. I'd still say it gives a thumbs up. Anyway, I love this game. This is like, if it stays the way it is, if it stays consistently good to the end, this might be my new favorite Fire Emblem. It's that good. I don't know how to end videos. That's it. Goodbye.